It's Open House Thursday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Murayo Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me. Why put it in the same hole?
No, there are two air holes. Two. I'm not like Miriam. Miriam has 6. And she has 1 here.
How are you doing, Waiki?
I'm fine. I just want to commiserate with the people of Ibadan. I think it was a really terrible thing. And I think our government really needs to step up. I know everybody is blaming the residents of the area.
Certainly.
But how did they get there in the first place? They got there, they did not, it wasn't the residents that brought them there. You know? It wasn't the residents that brought the miners there. Yeah. The government also said they don't know that they are mining illegally. Come on, let's wake up and smell the coffee now.
Explosives and
not only mining illegally, bringing explosives. How do explosives enter Nigeria now? Is it through the residents that the explosives entered Nigeria? It's not through the residents now.
We get it.
I mean, you go and report, safe. When you report, they will visit you. So you reported because somebody in the Kenya has gone to go and say that those people are reporting you. We have all faced it now.
good, you know, just grateful to God for good health and everything and family. So,
Obiajulu.
People, just about 20 persons this January to help them kickstart goal setting and vision boarding, but I haven't sorted out my dates, and January is almost finished. I think I have to move the class to February. By the time I sort out all the dates, I'll do the announcement. It's going to be free for people just to start up the year so that I can help people arrange and plan and set their goals. I love that. I was led to do it for free this January, so I'll do it for free, whether January or
the Holy Ghost, the universe.
Universe.
Sister.
The universe.
Sister is the universe, the universe.
Well, you know, I find this goal-setting thing works best for me towards the end of January and going to February. January is a lot of wanting to settle in and make sure everything is,
because even me that wanted to teach, I've not settled in. That's one of the reasons I hadn't sorted out my time. So I think I agree with you. So we'll be doing it like end of January, February. I've sorted out school fees, I've sorted out other plans and all, then you are ready to now set your own goals. How you doing? I like your colors.
Doing well. Today is my kid's birthday. Elizabeth is 12 today.
Yay!
Oh, 5 years old today.
Oh, wow. It's already 5. Look at that.
Really excited. So we're sending cake to school.
5 years. No, we got that.
And you didn't have a party for him. 5 is a special year.
It is, but you know, the Nigerian economy doesn't allow for that. So wait for 10.
Oh,
You'll
please.
be all right. Now, besides, the twins are going to be 10. So trust me, we're budgeting for that. That one is in May.
Okay.
So I had to choose. Well, you know, we have to make the options.
Yeah,
so
true.
5, you do his 10 by God's grace. But this one, we just carrying cake to school and you
fine.
That's okay too.
Okay, yeah.
That's okay, yeah.
Oh, happy birthday.
Happy birthday,
Thank you.
Happy birthday to
Happy birthday to Elizabeth.
Preteen.
the fraternal twins in this case.
I will, because now she's growing up. She feels like an adult that she deserves special greeting.
When I first met her, she was like this. Now she's
Such a tall, beautiful girl.
Big, she's tall,
and
beautiful. She's beautiful.
She has her fashion interests, the things in her buy her things like, I can't wear that. And I'm thinking, are you okay? I'm saying, you need to stop buying things from children's stores. Stop buying her from something like,
From teen stores.
Of course.
I was buying them from kids' stores.
No,
I don't want to
no.
wear that. I'm like,
No, she's a
sorry.
preteen now.
She's
Please
12
give
now
us some
because
respect.
it's true. At 12,
she thinks she's an adult. She thinks she's 16. Anyway, let's go on a short break. When we return and look at the front pages of the paper, stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're going to start with the nation. Ibadan explosions, 3 dead, 77 injured, 58 houses damaged. Crowdfunding for ransom payments will worsen kidnapping, says federal government. Obi of Onitsha tackles Soludo for suspending monarchs. Jimo Ibrahim rallies support for in Davos for Tinubu's policies. Edopo Igodalo joins race as LP pegs form at 30 million naira. NERC, all case hike in electricity tariff. CBN to crack down on forex violators.
I said that one is a different issue. So I think the telcos need to really sort out what is going on with people, because some of these lines are used for businesses, and if it's bad, you can't get in calls or take calls for your business.
More importantly, it's used for keeping in touch with family members and everything. So I have crowdfunding for ransom payments will worsen kidnapping, says a federal government. So yesterday, the Federal Executive Council, after the Federal Executive Council meeting in Abuja, we had the defense minister to raise money to secure release of kidnapped victims. He says that first of all, it's illegal. We have a law against it's illegal. We have a law against it in Nigeria to do that. He says second of all, it makes the situation worse when you crowdfund for ransoms that way, and so that's why it's illegal, because it doesn't make it better. It makes it like a more palatable source of income for these, for these criminals. And then, as we remember, former communications minister had openly come out on the internet to say he had raised, the ransom for the poor, for the family of the girl that had lost her life. Yeah. Yes, and that it's not security-wise, that was a wrong move to have made. Anyway, they said that, this is something we need to be aware of. It is illegal. You cannot come out and crowdsource for funds. Then we also have the IG of police and the FCT minister also, sitting down and having these conversations about security. The police have set up what they call SIS. So this SIS is called, what do they break it as? Special Intervention Squad. And they will be deployed to all the different councils in Abuja. The Minister of Defense also tried to explain. He says, yes, a lot of people have been calling out FCT because of kidnapping, but he says this is quite widespread. But that why it's even more prevalent right now is because of all the military operations happening in the northwest and northeast. These bandits are running away from these places, and then they're finding areas around the FCT to camp. And so, that's why it seems like they have a lot of this happening right now. But he says this is widespread, and they're continuing to fight this menace until there's nothing left.
They had checkpoints all over Abuja, and for me, it's so reactionary. It's not, this could have been done before. You're waiting for it to happen before you react.
Organize yourself.
Yeah. And anyway, I took the story of. Did you take the story of the Obi?
Yes, I did. So what happened was that, if you recall, back in the Yuletide season, the monarchs, 3 monarchs, actually conferred to Senator Uba the 3 different titles was conferred on him, and unfortunately for them, the government reacted to that conferment, saying that it's lacked due process. According to the report, the governor's first response suspended the erring traditional rulers, citing negligence of due process and awarding chieftaincy titles to them, and they actually apologized for that and withdrew those 3 chieftaincy titles. However, they went further to write a letter to
the Obi himself.
The Obi himself, yes. Mention of the monarch by the state government, saying that the letter lacked respect. He said, you publicly visited the scenes of an unrecognized self-acclaimed traditional ruler, by any means, the Public Riot Act and pontification to the same majority who bestowed the power on you.
He also,
yes, go ahead. On you.
He also,
yes, go ahead.
stipends, monthly stipends that you give them. That's
Give him the
that's
other
yeah,
thing.
we
give
help their
them.
kids.
It's making you talk to them. These people live on their own personal. These people live on their own personal income, what they've made throughout the years. So
But the real issue is that the senator is running under APC. And is likely to run for governorship next year. So in preempting that, they gave him chieftaincy titles. These three monarchs gave him. So obviously the government wasn't comfortable with that. Why would you give my main opponent? You just compare without
That you are in
following due
support.
process. What you're doing already, you're already
Picking sides.
and also contradicting the due process of selecting who you give conferred chieftain titles to. So obviously the government responded to them, and then that's how.
but the Obi is saying that they should have written privately, not publicly.
Yes.
Shamed them. You could have suspended them privately.
Moving on quickly now to the Punch.
no,
About
that's
explosion, residents blame Malian illegal miners as FG probes the blast. Ondo Amotekun arrest 19 kidnappers and 17 others. Student loan begins January as federal government opens website soon. FG seeks $1.5 billion loan to shore up Naira boost budget. Abductions, FG faults Nigerians crowdfunding to pay ransom. Government suspends electricity tariff hike. Power subsidy hits 1.6 trillion naira. And CBN to tackle forex infractions with heavy sanctions. Let's take one story for Iran.
Oh, the CBN has uncovered infractions, gross abuses, and non-compliance with foreign exchange market regulations. The bank says that it will punish those responsible for these abuses in collaboration with relevant agencies. So the acting director of communications, Mrs. Sidi Ali, was the one who disclosed this in Abuja yesterday. So she says that in its bid to clear the backlog of outstanding foreign exchange liabilities, the Apex Bank has paid approximately $2 billion across various sectors, including manufacturing, aviation, and petroleum. She also stated that they've also cleared up the entire liability of 14 banks and started settlements with foreign airlines. And that's good news. As we know, that's something that we had been discussing a lot in 2023. She also said that the bank commissioned an independent forensic review of the process by a reputable firm and has affirmed that the payment of forex backlog for qualified transactions have commenced. Noted that the review revealed grave infractions, gross abuse, and significant non-compliance with market regulations, and appropriate sanctions will be enforced in collaboration with relevant agencies.
Okay, let's go on a short break now. When we come back, we continue with our review. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Discover Lipton's flavorful and balanced taste. We pick fine quality tea leaves from selected tea gardens around the world to give you Lipton Yellow Label's flavorful and balanced taste in every sip.
New Nivea Dry Deodorants. With 70
curtains of a man's mind. Or perhaps you're one of those who wonder what men talk about when they gather. Well, here goes. Imagine what it takes to put together the perfect cocktail. Or maybe mocktail. We need a bit of sports, a sprinkling of current affairs, some very deep topical issues, and last but not the least, a healthy dose of grumbling of those we love to hate. And yes, you guessed it, women. So, if you catch the drift, then you're on.
Thanks for staying with us. Still reviewing the papers. Let me take the major headlines. So, Residents of Adeyi Avenue in Bodija, Ibadan, Oyo State, have blamed a Malian illegal miners for the explosion that rocked the ancient city on Tuesday. The explosion left at least 3 persons dead and 77 hospitalized. There was a resident within that area. He said that this was quite worrisome. He said in an interview, he said that the miners were illegal miners from Mali, live within the estate. And obviously, they had equipment from his own speculation, from his own perspective. He felt that those men lived in the area and they had equipment and explosive within the residence that exploded. The man, his name is Appa, he's a resident of Adeyi Avenue. He said that the neighbors, he agreed with him that the explosion was caused by the explosive materials which these Malians had in their residence. There is nothing like illegal mining within that neighborhood. There's nothing like only those who actually do illegal mining that live in that area are the ones responsible. I think the government also has confirmed that those who, the explosion probably happened through those who had illegal mining explosive in their custody, and that is been confirmed as the cause of the explosion. Again, it was really sad that we had to lose 3 people. 58 buildings were affected.
So they are not even Nigerians. They came from
Mali, living in the residence. So there are different layers. People live in your residence, but it's not our topic right now, but it's something worth discussing. It's one thing government can do to stop.
Are they illegal migrants on top of illegal mining?
They're illegally migrants.
Their company is registered.
Yeah.
So they're not.
So they might not be illegal miners. It's just that they are putting the equipment in their residence. So there are various.
No, the governor said that they were illegal miners.
Yeah.
He said they were illegal
miners.
He said that they are legal ones, but they are also illegal ones.
And these ones are illegal.
You know, but you see, it's not under the state purview. It's under the federal government.
That's the mining. Yeah.
That's also another conversation. Yeah. But the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission (NEC) yesterday released the 2024 electricity tariffs, which is showing that the federal government is to shoulder 1.6 trillion subsidy this year to avert electricity tariff hike. In the tariff review, said applications of the 11 power distribution companies in Nigeria, and the NEC has revealed and approved their different cost-reflective tariff as what was allowed as tariff by the commission following the government subsidy. So they had given the price that they wanted to charge, but the government is saying that you cannot charge this amount and, you know, split it almost 50% off. Now, the balance of, you know, the amount taken away from what the discos are supposed to charge will be paid by government as subsidy, and it's going to be for the rest of the year about 1.6 trillion that was mentioned. But they also said that we're not paying cost-reflective tariff because of all the things that are happening, the economic fundamentals, which is the rise in foreign exchange, the cost of gas, inflation, amongst others, would have made our, you know, payments reflective of what we are really getting. So we're not paying that much, and government is going to shoulder the responsibility. And now let me tell you what government will be spending this year. They said just for January alone, this month, 2024, Ikeja Disco will have 19.85 billion in subsidy. Benin Disco will have 11.74 billion in subsidy, and Abuja Disco will have 19.44 billion in subsidy. NEC is saying, on the other hand, that this is not, you know, it's not sustainable in the long run. We have to find a way to go about it so that we can, you know, pay cost-reflective tariff. And we know on one hand, we're looking at our fuel, premium motor spirits, likely to increase. You add electricity diesel. Again, you add diesel and all of that, it's just going to weigh down on Nigerians, and I'm sure that's why the government is still paying subsidy to just find a way to help.
Yeah, okay. So no fewer than the Amotekun. The Amotekun Corps have arrested 36 suspects. Some of them are kidnappers, some are murderers, some are armed robbers, some are petty thieves, burglars, you know, and they said what they've done is they've put the members, their core members, on each street, you know, to stop kidnappers from coming in, and that this month alone, they foiled 3 kidnap attempts. So for this month, there has been no kidnapping in their state, and that they're just talking about their successes. You know, they've paraded the suspects, and they're talking about their successes, and maybe trying to give the police a boost. We have foiled it.
If we can do it,
we can do it.
Why can't you?
Daily Sun. 2023 presidency Shoyinka, there were plots to annul election. Brand LP vice presidential candidates interview disgraceful. Suspension of royal father Igwe Achebe accuses Soludo of disrespect for monarchs. Court nullifies provisions of broadcasting code empowering NBC to impose fines on broadcasters. IPOB calls for dismantling of illegal checkpoints in Southeast. Tinubu approves 5 billion naira grant for 185 TED Fund research. Obi flays 3 billion naira for verification of national register. And Ibadan blast, government uncovers company housing explosives.
Yes, we have, the president has approved 5.1 billion naira for the funding of 185 successful research proposals under TED Fund, National Research Fund, the 2023 grant cycle. So the breakdown of the figures shows that 3.7 billion was approved for science, engineering, technology, innovation thematic group, 759 million for humanities and social science, while cross-cutting received 583 million, with individual grants ranging from 8 million to over 46 million. And it's been explained that this came after a thorough exercise. A screening and monitoring committee was set up. You know, they received 185. They received over 4,000 proposals, concept notes from prospective applicants, and then that's when they chose 185. So some of the things that, you know, we'll be seeing them, that these funds will be pushed towards. We have application of biogeochemical framework to develop a national rural water quality assurance plan for sustainable water quality. A few others. One that caught my interest was an intelligent multi-chamber evaporative cooling preservative system for post-harvest storage of selected fruits in Nigeria. So, you know, we've talked a lot about wastage that happens in agriculture. So this is some of the research that they'll be working on. And then also a special track, development of electric vehicle with special tracking features, amongst others. So monies are being put towards research in these areas. Hopefully, you know, we'll be able to come up with something quite innovative and life-changing for our country.
Yeah, I just wanted to say something about the core. The core members, they actually praised other security agents in the state. Said it was made possible through the other security agents being supportive of them.
So the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, are calling on security agencies to dismantle all illegal checkpoints mounted on Southeast roads. Their spokesperson, Ima Powerful, in a statement alleged that the checkpoints are turned to extortion points and avenues for harassing people in the Southeast. And he was also, you know, condemning the fact that they have some vigilantes who are used as toll boys, who are Igbo boys used as toll boys by security agents. So those ones stand on the toll, and they're also extorting people. And he's saying that that should stop. They don't need as much checkpoints that they mount in the states because now it's not even protecting the citizens of the states. It's going of different areas. They are now extorting, they are now collecting money and harassing young Igbo boys that, you know, going about their businesses, and so that should stop, amongst other warnings as well.
Okay, so the Abuja Division of the Federal High Court has declared null and void the provisions of the Nigeria Broadcasting Code, NBC, to propose fines on broadcast stations for alleged breaches of the code, as it ruled that administrative regulatory bodies could not exercise those kind of powers. The suit was filed by the Media Rights Agency, MRA, against NBC following the Commission's imposition of fine of 5 million naira on a TV station for allegedly undermining the Nigeria's National Broadcasting Code. And this judgment happened yesterday. It's still early days. It was through Justice Ofili Ajimogobia who set aside the fines imposed by NBC on August 2023. And on multi-choice, DSTV and TSTV, Trust TV, and NTA for broadcasting documentary about the state of banditry and security in Zamfara, saying the regulator's actions was wrong and unjustifiable in a democratic society. Okay, let's see which other story. Vanguard, very quickly. Let's find a story we've not taken. Edo 24, Ighodalo declares shuts down Benin. Illegal miners explosive, we talked about that. Forex backlog, CBN uncovers abuses and vows sanctions. Only one story.
Yeah, I do. So they said yesterday there was heavy gridlock on Airport Road and adjoining streets in Benin City as Dr. Aso Ighodalo yesterday officially declared his interest to contest the governorship of Edo State under the PDP. They said he came with a lot of celebration and that they had leaders of the party who were there. The former Foreign Affairs Minister, Chief Tom Ikimi, presented Ighodalo as the consensus aspirant for Edo Central Senatorial District. I would like to read the speech Dr. Ighodalo made. He says, "My mission will be to create an Edo where quality education is accessible to all, where hard work is rewarded, and where our talented youths can turn their dreams and aspirations into reality. I believe in the promise of an Edo where every person, regardless of their start in life, can write their stories of success if we take the right steps together. No part of Edo will be left behind, from the high plains of Kukuruku to the lush vegetations of Ilushi, from the rich red sands of Sapomba to Esanland's incredible biodiversity. We have all that is needed to make our state a mesmerizing destination for progress and wealth." I took it because it reminded me of one of those American speeches. Yeah, from the highlands to the uphill.
I actually listened to him yesterday. Very intelligent.
Well spoken.
That's why the governor is, because there's an issue with the Shebu. So it's like you have the politician and you have the technocrats. So who do you want in your government? So it's a conversation that the people of Edo have to decide on what they want. Let's go on a short break. When we come back, move on to our hot topic of today. Oh, we'll start with our sponsored segment. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Let's give it up for Giga Babata! A 358.
So, have you ever wondered what happens behind the curtains of a man's mind? Or perhaps you're one of those who wonder what men talk about when they gather. Well, here goes. Imagine what it takes to put together the perfect cocktail. Or maybe mocktail. We need a bit of sports, a sprinkling of current affairs, some very deep topical issues, and last but not the least, a healthy dose of grumbling of those we love to hate. And yes, you guessed it, women. So, if you catch the drift, then you're onto something. We will provide you with the right insights into most of your curiosities, right here within this beautiful cocktail we call the Black Table.
Ladies and gentlemen, make welcome pioneer Positive Force member, dancing queen of the 80s, non-conformist, Afrobeat historian in her right, and long-standing member of the multiple award-winning all-female show Your View, Omoyeni Yeni Anikulapo Kuti, aka YK Power. Ginger.
Take it.
Today we'll go here.
Hey, I don't read you. I'm not here to answer questions. I'm here to drink.
We're in trouble today.
Wait till your age.
I was close now.
I
said 1975.
He said 73. He said 75. Fellas wasn't even born till 75.
So will I drink half?
You go drink. Take. Make I help you. Russian.
No be half.
Which half? You will make me drink. I'll give you a hint. lights in no. Nepa Road. Nepa Road. Nepa Road in Abeokuta. First of all, my brain cannot memorize everything.
A big black bug.
A big black dog.
Bug. A big black bug.
Oh, sorry. A big.
It don't start.
Thanks for staying with us. So welcome to our sponsor segment. Join us now to talk about the David Dollar is the CEO, founder of David Dollar Nigeria Limited, Mr. Segun Alabi. Welcome to the show.
Good morning and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year.
I know you've told us before what David Dollar does, but tell us again what David Dollar is up to today. I know you have a pineapple plantation and you sell plots, but tell us a bit. About David Dollar for those who are seeing you here for the first time.
Okay, thank you. David Dollar Nigeria Limited, or David Dollar Farms. We are pineapple farm management company. We specialize in pineapple farming and distribution of all kinds of fruits, both Nigeria and outside Nigeria, because in fact of recent, we are having more demand, more requests from outside Nigeria, and this is what we are here for today, so that we can join forces together and build our nation. We know what the dollar is today. Imagine you are exporting like 50 metric tons of pineapple per week to the to Italy or to Germany. You know what that means. And then pineapple is highly scarce now. So it's a gold mine that whatever you put in there, you get what you are putting in there back. Thank you.
Yeah. So I would also like to know again, for people who have been asking, why exactly did you choose pineapple? Didn't you see cassava? Didn't you see cocoa? Why pineapple?
Actually, okay, thank you. Actually, when we started this business about 8 years ago, we didn't actually started with pineapple farming. We started with cassava and some other things. But why do we now focus on pineapple? Number one, when you're talking about pineapple, it's a product that whatever you put in there, you are sure of coming back to you. Yes, it may take time, but you know that this is coming back. We've done cassava that at the end of the day, cow eat all farm, and there was nothing to fall back on. We've done vegetables, we've done all kind of farming, and nothing has given us as much profit as pineapple, because number one, cow doesn't eat pineapple. Secondly, goat does not eat pineapple at all. And then not all the states in Nigeria can actually plant pineapple, not all. Because pineapple is a tropical fruit and it can actually grow in a tropical rainforest. So you know, so because of that, there's demand for it. So we have less producer, we have more demand when it comes to pineapple. And when you are doing business, not just a casual farmer, you are doing business with farming, then you should know that where you are putting in your money, you are sure that it's coming back to you. Not that, oh, you can't control the price, oh, when we are planting now, by the time the pineapple is out, oh, there's fruit. It has never happened. No, during the yam festival now, when everybody is harvesting yam, the price of yam will just crash. So even though the cost of yam is increasing, but by the time you have more than enough in the society, in the market, there's no how you can beat up or even break even at times. So we are specialized in pineapple because the value chain in pineapple is enormous.
Talking about value chain, I hear you're working on a concentrate factory. Could you please tell us a little bit more about that?
Okay, thank you so much. By the special grace of God, within the next, before the end of this year, our factory should start operation. And then this factory will be consuming nothing less than 50 metric tons of pineapple per day. And the value chain in pineapple, some people just think that, oh, pineapple is just, let me just eat fruits. No, it's beyond that. Because in pineapple, you can actually make shoe. In pineapple, you can actually make clothing. There's so much you can make in pineapple. Like this factory, we are working towards to set up now, everything in pineapple is money. So while the juice part of it is going for concentrate, the crown is going for fiber, for clothing, or for shoe that you can process and export that. And then today, see, people think that everything should be on government, but government cannot do everything. There's a book that talks about men who built America. America was not built by the government of America. It was built individually by the entrepreneur. And this is what Nigerian can do. When we join our hands together and do what is necessary to be done, then government, all we are asking from government is just to provide enabling environment for the business to thrive. For example, now in the community where we have our farm, do you know that for so many years they don't have source of water? They go to the stream to go and fetch water. But last year, December, we provided bore water for them. That they don't even have to buy generator, it's automatic. And the community, they were happy. Today now, their problem has been solved. Now imagine that we have 2,000 or 1 million individuals in Nigeria who can do the same thing for community.
What's your offer? What are you telling? What are we
now,
buying? Are we sell? What exactly?
Now today we are here to give. No, we give offer.
Tell us.
Now the price is going to increase at the end of this month from 1.5 to 2 million naira per plot, because the cost is increasing. Today, now if you go to markets in Nigeria today, go and price pineapple. You will discover that, hey, what is going on here? So because of that now, for people who will key in to this now, they still have opportunity to buy it at 1.5 million naira. Because from 31st of this month, once we enter February 1st, the price changes.
If I want to buy now and I don't have 1.5 million?
Now, there is a payment plan. So you have 3 months to spread your payment. So the initial deposit is 500,000 naira. Then the remaining payment is just spread within the next 90 days.
What do you get back for?
Now, when you are buying this, this is not a Ponzi scheme, and I want to repeat that over and over. You are buying a property, a pineapple farm property, which is yours forever. When you are buying this farm, you are getting all the necessary documents that state that you are the owner of this. So 36% of 1.5 million, that is 540,000 naira. That is what you get. So if you are buying 20 plots, you are buying 80 plots, you are buying 90 plots, you are buying 100 plots.
You have up to that?
We have. Our vision is within the next 5 years to have the largest pineapple farm in Africa.
Okay. Where is this farm?
It's at Agoiwe. Agoiwe is in Ijebu. Behind Olabisi Onabanjo University, Agoiwe. That is where the land is.
So my question is, so forever and ever, this is going to be a farm. You're not going to turn it into a residential area at some point?
No, we can say forever and ever. And when people ask this question, I always try to explain in a way that you will understand. If the purpose of what you are is for business sake, then if you do your calculation, what am I making if I build and I'm renting, or I'm getting this from this farm? If you do the calculation, you will discover that what you are getting in pineapple is way higher. Now, maybe in the nearest future, that place become a open building want to come into that place. You know, in government, there are some land that is for agriculture. And if you want to build it, that means you have to go and do a ratification to build in that place. But because our plan, our vision is we are working on factory that needs pineapple. So the raw material must always be available. Because
so the factory will be instituted there?
No, the factory is not instituted there because that is bush.
Okay.
But the factory is going to be instituted in Lagos.
Okay.
Or Lagos.
Depends on
the farm.
Okay.
So, which means we have to continue expanding the farm. You know, Africa have the largest land in the world. For example, last week, someone reached out to us from Istanbul. What's the name of this? This Istanbul. What's the name of this country?
Oh, Turkey, sorry.
Yes, Turkey. That they need 40 metric tons of pineapple every month.
Here.
Oh.
So, and we have so many requests from outside Nigeria. So, which means if we produce more than enough, you can export both the raw pineapple and other value chain in it.
So you give me the document and you help me manage the...
Yes, we help you manage
Every
it.
month I get something.
Every year.
Every year
Yes.
I get something.
Yes.
How long is this contract for?
Okay. This contract is going to last because there's going to be a review. So the first 5 years we manage it for you. After that 5 years, the next one, if you still want us to be managing it for, because we have something that's okay, I'm going to retire in about 5 years or about 10 years, and I want a place where I can always come. So what is there is after 5 years, that farm has been stabilized, so that you can even manage it by yourself, and I will still be buying it from you.
How about those who are interested?
But if you don't want to manage it by yourself, all we need to do is to renew the contract and continue to manage
How
it.
about those who have heard this, they are interested, but they don't have enough money to pay at once? What's the plan you have for
Yes, for those who doesn't have enough money to pay at once, we have 3 months payment plan. So when you pay 500, then the remainder you can spread within the next 3 months.
How do they find you? How do they reach you? Is there a number? Is there
Okay, to find us, to contact us, you can contact us this number, 081 164 64307. 081 164 64307. Or you can also check us out on our Instagram, davidola_farm, or info@davidolafarms.com.
Thank you very much. I think, is there anything else we missed out that you'd like to say?
What I would like to say is that the government of our nation should continue to provide enabling environment for business to thrive. And I can tell you that in this nation, agriculture is the way out. To solve the problem that we are facing right here in Nigeria, and agriculture is a way out because it's so large that it can provide job opportunity. So let the government give us the best environment for us to thrive as an entrepreneur.
A lot of people are watching this from abroad and are thinking, oh, I want to invest in this, I want to invest in this. How are they sure that it's not 419?
We've been coming here now for about 3 years now, and then our word has never changed. We are still in pineapple, and we've not left that.
You're registered?
And our company is registered. In fact, the farm is also insured.
In case anything happens.
In case anything happens. So, and it's your property.
Like minus problem.
Minus problem. Ever since we have even been insured the farm with the insurance company, we've never leave it clean because we have able people who do what is right to be done at the right time.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That's all we can take on this segment. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's go to break now. When we come back, we continue with our show. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Come closer. Your favorite breakfast show, Your View, will be going to 2 hours. We're going to have in-depth analysis of the newspaper review and more conversations on the hot topics. The ladies of Your View and I will be stirring up our guests to get in-depth into all the various topics, and you, our viewers, will have the opportunity to call in and share your views. After all, it's Your View. Join us on Your View, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. for a fantastic conversation. Don't miss it.
doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw earthen material slabbed, stroked, and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move way in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known. For when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty erected for a century of a century. Speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be. So, have you ever wondered what happens behind the curtains of a man's mind? Or perhaps you're one of those who wonder what men talk about when they gather. Well, here goes. Imagine what it takes to put together the perfect cocktail. Or maybe mocktail. We need a bit of sports, a sprinkling of current affairs, some very deep topical issues, and last but not the least, a healthy dose of grumbling of those we love to hate. And yes, you guessed it, women. So, if you catch the drift, then you're onto something. We will provide you with the right insights into most of your curiosities, right here within this beautiful cocktail we call the Black Table. So, have you ever wondered
Thanks for staying with us. So it's Thursday, and on Thursdays we like to discuss family issues, marriage, and lifestyle. And an interest, two various videos actually caught our attention in the past few days, and it centers around patriarchy and the fact that two videos, a man in particular, one said that he gave his wife 4 rules that she must follow when they were getting married. Some of the rules was that whenever he says something she doesn't agree with outside, she has to agree with him. And then when they get home, she can do whatever she wants. She can even slap him, whatever it is. But at least outside, she must show 100%. That's one. Number two, when she doesn't want to do anything, she can tell the world that her husband says she shouldn't do it. If she's having issues selling somebody, she doesn't want to do something, you can just say, once you say your husband doesn't do it, he doesn't want you to do it, that should be fine now. Thirdly, who can give me the third one? We gave quite 4 rules. Yes, they might never argue in front of the children. And the fourth one, I can't remember that either. But the point
his word is law or something.
Yeah, when he says something, his word is law.
That's it, yeah.
Now, and
the final.
I'll always start with that story. And the reason why that story caught my attention, because I think I've shared this story also several times on the show, where there was a fight in my house many years ago, and I didn't defend my husband. And then in fact, on the show that day, I mentioned it, and BC said, you should have fought for him. And unfortunately for me, my husband now watched that episode. He doesn't watch your view. It was that episode that BC was defending him.
Jesus.
So as I came home, you see, your friend told you, I keep telling you that you are supposed to defend me outside. Although still, for me personally, I still feel that what I did was not wrong, because it was an internal fight that happened many years ago. This was a long time. I was just referring to the story. And in fairness to him, he was doing the right thing, because one of the neighbors had complained the fact that another neighbor's generator's fume was getting into her room.
I remember the story.
Yes, I remember your story.
And so he was trying to fight for her.
Yes.
But in fighting for her, for me, he felt it was a bit too, I don't want to say aggressive.
He went overboard.
He went a bit overboard than I would have expected. And I was telling him to calm down. You know, I didn't want him to start going head to head with the other man. Mm-hmm. So he was shouting, and I'm like, calm down. So I kept saying, Brown, calm down. No, calm down. Stop. What's wrong with you? Why are you fighting? What's your problem? Of course, he didn't find that funny, because at that moment, he felt hurt to his bones. Because the other guy was saying, see, your wife is telling you to calm down, and you're not listening. Your wife is telling you to calm down, you're not listening. So he felt really hurt. Now, at that moment, he didn't tell me anything. And the fight passed, and we moved on. But months later,
he reminded
me of that. I didn't even think of that. I didn't even think nothing of it. Now he reminded me of that day, that you embarrassed me. And I'm thinking, excuse you, you were fighting. I didn't want you to fight, you know? But that is what this man is saying. And when I saw that video, I'm thinking, maybe there's something here. Maybe I should have seen it in a different way. So obviously, it seems like I bruised his ego.
Yes.
But what are your thoughts? I mean, this is not the first time we're talking about, but let me hear your thoughts on this.
Yes. So,
and I'd love to show the video, so those who haven't seen it can see it. But while we're trying to get the video to be nice.
So one of the reasons I told you should have supported him was I had a similar experience. And Brown was nice by not talking about it there. I was shouted on. My 2-year-old, my first daughter was 2, started crying in the car. So what happened was, you know, the way Lagos traffic, we're heading from Alagbadu, we're working at Awoyaya, and then every weekend we go to Alagbadu, and we're coming back that Sunday, you know, to get ready for work and all of that. I don't know what happened on the road. I think the guy in front just drove anyhow, and the car bashed each other, right? So when they came out, apparently my husband was on the right side, but he was shouting, and I know how his shouting gets, and I didn't want him to shout. So to pass it, I felt in my head, I was newly married now, that to pacify the matter was to just do like this so that the guy can go. So I came out, instead of doing like this to my husband, I did like this to the guy. I heard it. What? The man now took advantage of that. Said, even your wife
is begging me.
Even your wife is begging me. Even your wife is begging me. When we entered the car, the shouting, my 2-year-old started crying. When we got home, he apologized for that shout. But I think a few weeks back, we were talking about this, and he remembered, he relived the experience again.
The anger.
You know, you can never. So when you told me your story, I was like, I learned the hard way that no matter what, you would support your family outside. When you get into but you know, saying that you're wrong now. You stated there. So that was how I learned that lesson. But coming back to the story we are talking about, I don't see anything wrong in the rules the man has made. The only reason we are going to be looking at it a certain way because he called it rules. those were some things that we agreed on our own, that when we get into marriage, we will not want to be shouting, breaking bottle, arguing in front of our children. We always want to be on the same side so that we don't. Yes, of course. Some people grew up seeing parents break bottles, and it's something that you say, I don't want the experience I had. I don't want to expose my children to it. We have parents who find it very difficult to raise their children in unity, because when daddy says something, mommy counters it. And mommy says something, daddy counters it. And I learned in child psychology that messes up with the psyche of the children. So also my Montessori background helped me to understand that we have to agree, at least in front of the children. They will get to a certain age.
What if they're wrong?
No,
a
hold
lot
on.
of times, the men, sometimes, I mean, the fathers or even the mothers are wrong. The party that is shouting, because you are shouting doesn't make you right.
Of course. But it's not my job to tell you outside that you're wrong. That can be reserved for inside, because you're a family. It's like, there's this adage they say in my place, that if somebody is beating up your mom and you come to the place and you're asking who looks for trouble, that you're a bastard.
Of course.
You fight for your mother. When you get inside, say, mommy, but what you did is wrong. That's how we're raised in Africa, and that's what we're moving into. But I was stating a point also when he said his word is final and they will not argue in front of the children. And I was trying to say that we had to make that arrangement so that we do not confuse the psyche of the children, where they know that they can manipulate either mommy or daddy to get what they want after one of the parents has said no to them. And then it shows the children that these people are not divided and we can use them against one another.
Let's show the video so that those who haven't seen it can have an idea what we're talking about. Watch this.
I give my wife 4 rules. If you want to make the marriage to work, you must keep these 4 rules. Number 1, if I say anything outside, this is right. When we get inside the room, you can slap me and tell me what rubbish, what nonsense. I'm not ashamed to go out and say, knowing what I know, I'm not doing it again. Number 2, if anybody told you to do anything and you didn't want to do it, just tell them my husband said I shouldn't do it. I'll say yes, I said I shouldn't do it. Your husband must protect their wife. And I felt that was the only way I could use to protect my wife. I can come back and we'll look at it and say, listen, you have to go and do it all. I didn't convince you. The third thing is, we can never argue in front of our children. The fourth thing that I told them, my wife, is that don't create a room for any of these children to hide bad mom, good dad. If I take a position, that remains the position. So my children growing up knew that there was no hiding place. If daddy said a thing, don't mind those people, they've agreed.
Agreed,
yeah. Okay, so I'll just start with how he called it rules and how that may come across as being forceful. But, you know, we talk about boundaries here all the time. So what if he had said, I've put my own boundaries? Would we find it easier to accept, you know? So I've always said I prefer to work with people who have set boundaries. Then I know when I'm when I'm breaking them or when I'm doing something wrong. And for me, it also tells me the sort of person you are. So from the get-go, I know if I want to deal with you or not. I don't find, I understand these rules. I don't think they're unpalatable in any way. So, you know, I don't disagree with it, is what I'm saying. Now, the only thing that maybe stands out for me that maybe it's a bit uncomfortable for me is whatever he's doing outside, don't correct me or, you know, don't do anything until we get to the house. I may not correct you, but I will keep quiet. I will not be a party to you making a fool of yourself outside. I cannot. I'm sorry. I will not join the other person to make you further upset, but I will keep quiet. And I hope that when you see that I'm keeping quiet, it will sort of tell you that, okay, maybe I'm doing something a bit wrong. Because remember, I'm your teammate. I want you always to show up in the best light. Do you understand? And I hope that you do the same for me. Now, having said that, you know, there are situations where, you know, you're with friends and you're bantering, you know, and the way we say yabbies, you know, you're yabbing each other. There's something I just always notice my husband does. He would never say anything, not even in jest, that will make me look bad. And I appreciated it because I've been in situations where you're with friends, it's yabbies, but in a way that makes you feel bad. But he never does that. So I learned that. So maybe in that way, I can understand that in whatever situations, you're my guy. I always have your back. But if you're doing such a horrible thing, I would keep quiet. You would know that I'm not in support, but So that particular, so if we were to talk about that particular one, that's my stance on that.
Okay. I think that the male ego is very fragile. Okay. I think women can take things thrown at them with much more, they can be much more resilient than the man. The man, the slightest thing will, like, I will take cheating just as, you know, if you cheat on a man, the way the man
processes it.
It's different from the woman will, she will even in there and say, Joe, you don't go, you don't pass. But a man will
never
not,
passes.
You know, so when I think of that, I guess the male ego is fragile. Okay. And I agree that if you are but you see, the way me I'm brought up, I don't care if you are doing the wrong thing. Whatever you are doing, the other person is my enemy. You're kidding. I'm not joking. The person that is doing whether the right or the wrong to my family is the bad person. Okay. We can go and fight inside, but you see at that moment, you will not know.
Yeah.
I will support you to the only way I will not support is if you're a murderer.
Let me give an example, YK. So for example, you have an argument with a partner, with somebody you're dating, and because you're having serious argument in the car, he's upset, right? Now, unfortunately for him, an Okada rider rams into you right next to you, just hits you, just a snipe, not a scratch, hits you, and the anger, right? He comes out and slaps and starts beating up the person, and the person now retaliates and punches him, and you're trying to stop it. Trying to stop him from fighting because you already know the source of the anger, but you're fighting, but he's mad at you that you're not foreseeing that. Didn't you see the guy hit my car? The bike. I know. So in his mind, he's saying, he hits me. Would you now be beating the Okada rider because you want to support your husband?
No.
Who hits?
At that point, yes. The Okada that hits my husband
is the one that will carry the aggression.
I will just cool my husband so I don't go and kill him.
That's what we're saying. They don't want to get calmed down.
While I'm cooling him down, I'm fighting the Okada.
Yeah.
Hey, It's let me take the fight for you. Because I can't beat the Okada. I can't kill the Okada, but you, as a man, can kill the Okada man. So I will cool you down and fight the Okada man.
I wouldn't do that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I will do it too.
Because when the most I can do is just say, calm down. Calm down, because I know that you're wrong.
You see, when I'm coming you, I'm fighting you.
Why?
You, Mariah, you are the Okada driver. Miriam, you are my husband. Honey, don't worry. Don't hit him.
You just finish fighting the car.
No, even if we did not fight.
Has come to collect the fight. That's it.
Yes,
another person has come.
When
we are together, we're fighting. When the Okada driver enters, we're supposed to put forces together and face the third person. That's how it's done. Outside, when we go inside, brother, but you know, say you mess up. So, you see, I learned, and one of the reasons I'm going to say this is I compared a few things, right? So I saw families who were very close-knit and united, that anything that happens outside, it's them against the world. And growing up, I admired it because I didn't have it. Because my own is more like English speaking now, everybody on your own. If you mess up, we address it in front of you that you have messed up. I'm still like that, but I'm also learning it in raising my children, that you must be together. This is your family. These are your siblings. You cannot see somebody insulting your brother and you're not doing anything. You come home, you bachalo and come home and sit down. He's the one that looked for trouble. You were there. What did you do? How did you intervene? How did you support? How did you fight? Because I saw that growing up and I sort of admired it. It sort of showed me a form of unity that I wanted because I didn't have, right? So now that we are adults, we can find better ways of doing it. So I like her idea where she'll sit, be quiet. Because you are misbehaving, you just know that this quietness that I'm quiet, I'm not agreeing with you, right? But not everybody gets to that level where they're quiet. Some people, because you have messed up already and you are fighting, you are using that opportunity to gain favor back, to settle, and you use that person. People do it.
Don't use me.
People do it.
Okay, let's not even make it about fights. Let's say we're all together with our partners and then your partner says something that you know is just wrong. And everybody's arguing and trying to explain. No, this is how it is. Your partner is just saying the wrong thing over and over and over again. Will you knowing that what he's saying is wrong, will you join him in saying what is wrong?
Yes,
to make it, or would you keep quiet and hope he understands and also backs up?
What I know now With what I know now,
You
I will
winked
join
at him.
him.
Hopefully, the winking, he will say that wick you winked, it was not in support.
Yes.
You made him look a certain way.
Exactly. I've shared this story
I
with
will join
my
him.
aunt, and she and her husband are still alive. In fact, I don't mention her name because I know.
Don't mention her name. Just tell us the
My
story.
auntie and her aunt.
And her
her
husband.
husband is my cousin.
Okay.
She's married to my cousin. I was a young lady. I was a teenager then. They were in our house. And her husband was saying the most ridiculous things. Like it was like a no-brainer. I mean, God forbid. But the wife was there, and she is a high-ranking. If I say her profession, you know who she is.
Don't tell us.
She's a high-ranking person, that very dignified person. You know, she's somebody that when she enters a room, she enters, and she was there supporting him. And I'm looking at her with disgust. Like, you know this guy's not making sense.
You're disgusted.
And I was a young girl, and she kept supporting the guy. That's just foolishness. But then I called her after the whole family disparted. Hey, Auntie, you were supporting him. You know that isn't that. What is it, Mariah? When you get married, you understand.
You will understand. Wisdom is profitable to direct.
When you get married, you understand. Now, I can never forget that situation. Although I never probably even used the lesson because...
Yeah,
but it's not a different breed.
Yeah.
But I remember that thing. And sometimes I try to, see reason because my husband has a very strong personality. And I always feel sometimes that, listen, because you have a strong personality, doesn't mean that you're right. Because no one starts talking. And you do your gra-gra, doesn't mean that you're right. Just gra-gra. I don't have gra-gra. It doesn't mean that what you're saying is right. So half the time, he's speaking with all the energy. And I'm like, you're not going to intimidate me because of that. This is the situation, and this is what I'm going to do. But Brown comes with that thing, and he wants me to support him. And then sometimes he's just totally wrong. Like, you can see this. He can't call this is white and black. And you're insisting this white thing is black. And I'm thinking, no, it's black. And you're insisting it's black.
So
in fairness to him,
it's gray. It can become gray.
Mariah, so what is wrong?
A lot of times, in fairness to my husband, a lot of times, right, after we fast forward, many times
he will not come back.
No, he's like, he can be right. I will now see where he's coming from. Okay. I see the rightness in what he was trying to do. So maybe what he did was right, was the wrong timing.
Okay.
So it was done.
So Mariah, the problem we have is we are constantly labeling things and trying to define things. There is what sort of helped me in dealing with issues like this, and it's not just spouses. Sometimes it's even friends and family members, and how they just believe one thing and they are running with it. What helped me is to understand that everybody's perspective is right. As I am saying it like this, this is my view of the world. This is where I'm seeing from. This is my lens, and it is right. And no matter what you're saying, you will not be able to come across to me, especially when you are arguing and trying to put it to me that I am wrong. I'm not seeing from where you're seeing. And they'll give different instances of blind people being given an elephant in the room and say, touch this one, say, an elephant has it, looks like this, an elephant looks like that, from the parts that they are touching. So if you have that understanding, sometimes you take a step back and try to even see where they're coming from. And even if you don't get it at that time, it's okay. I and my husband.
Wait, let me pause you. Let me take this call and hold it for a while. Good morning.
Go ahead.
Samson. Oh, I'm so sorry for keeping you. Go ahead.
Morning. Yeah, you guys are looking stunning.
Thank you, sir.
Actually, I appreciate you, and I like this conversation. And I think I'm together with the one at my right hand, the one that said, whoever is facing her husband is like her enemy, or something like that. I really like that.
That's YK.
The thing is, when it comes to family, I think communication is the best. When you communicate, when you two understand yourself, I think that is where you will get everything right. Having rules at home, I don't think there is anything wrong with that, because you want to be organized. You want your children to be organized. It's good. And it's not healthy for the parents to argue that much in front of the children. I grew up in a house that we hardly see our parents. Like, sometimes we just go near, maybe at their doorstep to be, hearing what they are doing inside. You will not get the picture clearly. You'll just be hearing inside the room, but you are not getting what they are doing. But once they step outside, they are straight with us. And that helps us to know that, yes, in the house, there is somebody that all of us are under, which is the father. Now, the father is the head, but I believe my mother determines how the head turns.
Can I tell you one story? Yes. One day I was Theo and I was sleeping in bed, and then I just heard, why? I don't know if I've said this story before. From sleep, I woke up. Theo was sleeping, and he had punched me.
We've not heard this one.
Oh my goodness! So you know, the first punch, I just went back. Then I heard again, voice. I said, "Come, wake up, wake up, wake up."
Who was punching you?
Then he woke up. He said, that he saw you, that it was his driver.
He was
punching. In the dream.
I've never seen that.
I said, hey. And I know that driver, very troublesome man. Very troublesome. So he was stressing Theo to the point where in his dream he was fighting.
Jesus.
The next time I saw that driver, I just held him like this. That slap I collected. What? Collect it.
Why?
Why? Did you collect it? Because you are stressing my husband. If you are stressing my
partner,
it affects you.
It's affecting me. I collected that sponge you were supposed to collect.
So the man appeared. So wait.
In the dream. From the dream. So I gave him in real life. And you know all the staff, they were there. They saw me. I can't remember that driver's name.
So, wait. So he resumes work. See him, come here. He does not know what has happened.
He will know now because I've been stressing. They say he has been stressing the man. He knows because for Theo to be dreaming that dream,
that's so sweet.
That's
driver
has stressed him. So you understand? So you if you are stressing my person,
you're stressing me.
You're stressing me.
Of course, if that's the case.
I said I collected the punches I sleep.
Okay, let me go on the shop. When you come back, stay with us.
It's so funny.
Yeah. Oh my God. Sleeping, seriously.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
So, have you ever wondered what happens behind the curtains of a man's mind? Or perhaps you're one of those who wonder what men talk about when they gather. Well, here goes. Imagine what it takes to put together the perfect cocktail. Or maybe mocktail. We need a bit of sports, a sprinkling of current affairs, some very deep topical issues, and last but not the least, a healthy dose of grumbling of those we love to hate. And yes, you guessed it, women. So, if you catch the drift, then you're onto something. We will provide you with the right insights into most of your curiosities, right here within this beautiful cocktail we call the Black Table.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, La General, the one and only Pere Egui. Which of the following is false about teeth? We are born with 20 primary teeth. Teeth are the hardest substance in the body. Teeth are the strongest bones in the body.
Teeth is not a bone, actually.
Teeth can self-repair.
The strongest bone in the body, no. Teeth is not a bone.
Final answer?
Teeth is not a bone.
To strike, he was convicted and sentenced to 5 years imprisonment. On 9th of October 1963, he was on trial with 10 others for sabotage in what became known as the Revolver trial. On the 11th of June 1964, Mandela and 7 other accused were convicted and sentenced to life imprisonment. He was later released from its gates on Sunday, 11th of February 1990, 9 days after the unbanning of the ANC and the PAC. Nelson Mandela never wavered in his
Thanks for staying with us. You know, I think I like this conversation we're having because hopefully to help a lot of people out there who are also listening to you, because even I'm getting new insights. Because in my own view, I felt, oh, it's my husband's thing. And then when BC had agreed, it was just BC's thing. You know, maybe it's just a few. But now hearing another person saying, listen, when we have issues outside, their support me. Now I'm seeing things from the perspective, okay, maybe actually it's something I must really pay attention to. I've learned, however, from my experiences that you don't have to make a fuss. I try not to make a fuss going forward. In fact, I've learned from that. I don't make a fuss anymore. I just like you. I keep quiet while I leave the place and just mind my business. Obviously. So even with that, indicated that I'm not in agreement. That, in addition, aggravates.
But it's better than poison.
But there was something you said, which I would like us to go back to, that everybody is coming from somewhere, and we see our world based on where we're coming from. And I think if we let that sink in, even when you are having this kind of issues outside, you understand where your spouse is coming from. Because there's some women that have had issues all their life, and then something happens that triggers a certain reaction, and then you get upset. Why is she get upset on this? But she's coming from somewhere. So we're all right based on where we're coming from, which I think is really, really vital.
So it also, I also had to learn it because my husband is a very vocal person. In fact, people think I talk. Wait till you meet him. He out-talks me most of the time. And we always argue about different things. I'm someone who is into a lot of, you would call my kind of person a seeker. I read a lot. I want to know things about everything. And there are some specific areas I'm interested in. So when it comes to general issues like that, I'll always have something to say based on either where I'm coming from or what I've experienced. And our experiences are different. He came from a different background, I came from a different background. So we were always clashing with certain ideas, certain values and everything at the beginning. And so I started paying attention to what was really causing our argue. In fact, to some extent, people around know what they say, leave and this and don't start. Leave them, they go calm down. You know, and our voices are quite high. When we're arguing, you think we are fighting. We're not fighting, no, we're just arguing. This is my perspective. So I believe in that one is holding on to their own. So when I now started understanding that he is right in his own rights, and I am right in my own rights. Now, where do we come to? How do we come to the middle? To preach, which tells me that he has actually heard me and opened his mind to what I had suggested. And it just made it easy. And it also gives us compassion. We are not in a hurry to judge people because they don't see life the way we see life.
I love that. Let me take this call from David. Thanks for calling. You're live.
Hello,
good morning, David.
I'm very happy to join you this morning.
I need some volume. Yeah, go ahead, please.
Please, I enjoyed this topic we are talking about. And I want to share an experience I had. I did a business with somebody, and are you hearing me?
I'm having trouble hearing you. Go ahead.
I did a business with him, and I don't think
I really wanted to hear David because he was about to share his story. If we can call him back, I'll really be grateful.
I wanted to read this message from, hey, I hope I can still find it to... Yeah.
Okay. Wait, I always tell you, screen grab it. Don't lose it.
Osi Tokama School, something. OUSL. He says, Mommy YK, if your person had told you that it was the governor of Lagos State that he was punching in his dream, would you have slapped him when you saw him? So I wanted to take it because I would answer. No, I would not have slapped him because they will arrest me. But I would say, Governor, you are stressing my man. Governor, why now? I would still face the governor. I would still bring it up to say,
your reaction will be different.
Yes.
Yeah, so also I would like for us to differentiate, because I feel like the messaging is going to be different. We're not saying that when our husbands are right, when they are in their rights, we will not be there to stand for them. They are our people now. They are our person. But we're saying that when our husbands are doing something wrong, in a way to protect him from doing further damage or messing up even further, I've figured out a way to do it without vocalizing and making him feel even smaller, but also, you know, in my silence, hoping I'm sending a message that, you know, this is where you back down, please. This is where you shut up, please. You know, so it's not about my husband. I mean, that guy is he's my guy. Do you understand? I'm there for him. Come what, I may ride or die, come what may. And it also shows when he's doing something wrong. I may ride or die in that sort of way as well, because I don't want him, you know, going out there messing up. The two of us too now join head. Now, you know, and now be messing up together. They always say this about, you know, couples, that you hope that there's one person that can listen to the other. There's one person that can correct the other. We can't both mutadul mulala our J is not. I don't subscribe to that.
One of the things I'm also learning from this conversation, because even my kids have an issue with me, because sometimes when they complain about something in their school or a friend did something to them, you know, I always try to see reason. You know, maybe somebody says, somebody hit me. I'm like, first time I go, what did you do? Or I always try to see things from the other person, but they feel like I don't come and defend them, I don't come and fight. I'm thinking, I'm not going to be coming to be fighting, so sometimes they prefer to go and meet their dad.
Can I ask?
He would raise the issue. He would try to, you know, but although sometimes I do, in fairness, I do, but there's sometimes where I just feel like
there's something
reason.
I won't mention it, but there's something you did. You stood up for your daughter in a particular situation, and I'm so proud of you for doing that. You know, so sometimes the way that you stand up is different. Does not mean you're not standing up. And we should understand that we are different people. And our differences are so important in our relationships. Not all of us are pepper. Somebody is pepper, someone is salt, someone is sugar. You know, sugar. You know, there are different parts of the soup. So we need to understand who we are, understand our strengths, be proud of that. I've said the story. There was once before I was in a car driving from, I think we're driving from Lokoja to Jos. Anyway, the drives in the north is usually really good. Yeah, a long stretch of road. And then we had this mopo, they stopped us. And it got heated, you know, with my friend's elder sister getting upset with the mopo, you know, challenging him. Here we are in the middle of nowhere, thinking of all the stories my mother said, before they will shoot you, people just push you into the bush. And she was in her right. It wasn't as if she wasn't. Everyone else was just, no, you cannot. I was like, you know what, guys? You know, I calmed everyone down. I calmed her down. I calmed him down. The policeman looked at me and said, if not for this one, if not for this one, what I have shown her today. And we got in the car and we left. While we had driven over our camera, she looked at me, she was like, thank you for what you did. Because it would have escalated. I understand my strengths. I'm not the fighter. But does not mean that I will not stand up for you when I need to. And so that's how it's appreciated.
Thanks for calling you live.
Yeah, good morning, madam.
Good morning.
Yeah, my name is Morake. Yeah, all right, to support your spouse in the public. Yes, it is possible to support your spouse money. Get it to the junction that leads between the office and the police quarter. That is where I had an accident with the police officer. He and his wife were having a misunderstanding before he was coming out from the office, from home, to join the road that leads to my office, because it is a direct where I am coming from. But where they were coming from their quarter to join the road. Suddenly, I just hear, ah! It damaged my fender, my tire, in fact, everything at the front. And at the end of the day, the water jumped down. Why should you destroy my car? You know, I just kept that phone my hand because I was unmuffled. I didn't wear my uniform, but the husband wear with the uniform. He never know that I am a military personnel. So I asked the young man, I just undermined the word the wife said. And I said, why should you hit my car? You want to kill me? So at the end of the day, he was trying to charge because of the wife's statement. I couldn't camera it. So at the end of the day, people now came. They now saw how he hit it because the position of the captain were still there. So they now took us to a police. They now look at it. They now say, okay, the man, that is the police officer, is the one guilty.
Right.
So we now went to the office of the commissioner.
Thank you very much. I think we got the
yeah, he's saying that in that situation, the wife came out to fight. Meanwhile, the man was drunk because he hit his car.
Okay.
He hit this guy that called car. And the woman came out fighting, and the man now cuckoo joined her. So he's saying it's not every time that you should. And I wanted to, two scenarios. There was one day I was having an argument with somebody over, just a general political topic. Theo did not agree with me, but he didn't say anything. He didn't. I mean, when I'm arguing, I will argue it.
We know. Why can we know?
When I believe in that thing, I will argue it down. I will never agree.
We know you.
Come on.
Don't tell me that, Mariah. Don't tell me.
Let me finish. Don't stop me.
So Theo didn't agree with me. Yeah. He just kept quiet. And when we got in the car, he said, but I still argued with him. And, I started facing him. And then I looked to my relative.
To defend you?
To defend me. And the eye was...
Like you deserve it. Okay, that's some...
I went ballistic. So, you see that guy? I faced him.
Okay, let me go with your second example.
I trust you.
I can almost be your second relative, that feels like, listen, I'm not going to get into a fight. I don't have the energy or passion for it. Yeah. Like for someone like my spouse right now, Brown, he will spark there, 5 minutes. Hi, sweetheart. And I'm like, I'm still boiling. I'm still for 4 days.
Take a longer time to breathe.
Now we spark. After that spark,
and move on.
He has moved on. But for me, I don't want. So if I see you shouting with somebody and I just don't want to get into that argument, I might agree with you. I just don't want to get into it. I just mind my business. I won't get into it.
For your cousin.
I won't get into that conversation. I don't want to get into a brawl because I can't. You're doing it because you can do it. I mean, I can't.
I didn't expect. Okay, I didn't expect the person to defend me or even say a word. Yeah. But if I had looked, if I'm arguing and I look at you,
you're expecting support.
From just your eye, just. But if I look at your eye and you do.
See, this woman, she deserves it. It's good for her.
So the person that they were doing the eye for, I went back for you.
I will finish you today.
I will finish you today. So people that were watching,
that's why you're short.
People that were watching, there was somebody that was watching and was just doing like this to me. Cool down.
Yes,
giving you the down. Say, I hear you, but cool down.
Yeah.
That is the kind of thing
response that you expected.
Okay. I expected, not.
Brian, let me let you.
How about like in situation with siblings, older, younger siblings, and then age, right? But because you are now entering a situation where it's going to be totally disrespectful. So you stand in that case, you're not going to fight, you're not going to insult the younger sibling, but you just remind. So what I'm saying, in her case, with her cousin, the cousin could have just stood up and said, don't put your hand in her face. You can express yourself, but don't please. Auntie, please calm down. Yeah. So that's standing up. But even if she was wrong, but that is not that person agreeing with you, but just also maintaining that respect is being observed.
Yeah, so let me even civil. But some troublesome cousins like that.
See, leave troublesome. We are friends here.
Okay.
You people see me and somebody having an altercation and you don't support me. I will just agree and just make up my mind that you people don't like me. I'm telling you.
If I don't support you, I don't like you.
Thank you.
I don't like you.
I refuse. That's not true.
I meet you on the road. I meet you on the road. Somebody maybe has jammed your car.
Exactly.
And then they are even putting the eye. I will jump in the center.
That is how it's done. If I see the same thing for you too, I will do the same thing. That shows me, see,
they will think it's me.
I am right or wrong. When you come and say, BC, you can wind my ear, BC, you know they try. How would you do that kind of thing? But at that moment, I want to see support. I want to see you smiling. I want to see you joining forces to show that person pepper. So, but I wanted to say something. Let me say something if I forget, Mariah. Sorry, calm down. Let's use wisdom to separate the situations, right? Because you're a fighter does not mean you see somebody carrying cutlass on you. And you say, this person cannot cut me. It just takes him up and down, and they've cut you. So you must be wise. When it comes to issues of violence and all of that, there's a way you can do it. You can, separate. You can be calm this one down, calm that one down. That is not the time to be judging you are right and you are wrong. Just diffuse the situation. We must learn that. When it comes to argument, you can jump in because we're just talking now. We're just arguing. I support Mariam. I don't support YK. You can support YK. We understand that, but you must separate it. And also, there's something I've learned in life.
When it becomes physical.
Do not take up a fight where there are no spoils. If you go out with your husband and you know how he gets when he's talking, he's always right, he always wants to be right, and he always wants you to support. If you don't support him there, when you get back, after people have gone back to their beds, you are the one that's continuing your quarrel. There's no spoils in that fight. So why do I fight the fight? Where I will still go home, it's just small arguments we argued about a movie. We will not carry face for 2 days just because I did not support you. I support you now.
Let him grow up now. Help me. Grow up.
No. You will not be teaching him to grow up outside. Teach him inside. No. For the fact that he has not grown up to that level. No, listen, that he has not grown at that level means you have not taught him anything at home. He's not outside. You correct your children. He's inside the house. So start on time. Have the conversation with him sometimes. Baby, sometimes when you're talking and I feel like I'll just keep quiet, you should know. Do that at home. Don't do it outside.
No problem.
Start early.
We've heard you.
It's well.
You have heard me, Abby.
We've heard you.
I agree with you.
Fight for me. Because else.
I agree with you. If the guy is physical, then you must
diffuse it.
But if it's not a physical thing, if it's argument, I beg you.
I get that. I guess we're all learning from each other, and it's good to have this kind of conversations because I always feel as if everything should be discussed. Because usually when I was growing up, when an issue happened, my father would ask you, what time did you get there? Who did you see? What, he will really make you break down things, and you have to really process every single thing and then almost present to him what happened in every situation. So he will, and for you to spank you, after you finish discussing, he will now tell you why you need that to be spanked. You agree that based on what you've done,
I love that.
You're going to have 24 strokes because I would have given you 5. But because you did this, he make you understand the gravity of what you have done.
Yeah.
So when he's giving you, so that's
how you were raised.
So when you now go and start doing do you understand what is going on? Have you really analyzed and assessed what you're about to do? So
you see,
we're different in different ways.
That beating is premeditated beating. Me, I don't like premeditated beating.
Which one do you like?
Spontaneous beating.
It's better.
When you now think about it and then you now say, oh yeah, come for your strokes.
You be collect more.
No, I prefer premeditated
Are you
beating.
serious?
Because let me tell you what I've done to my mom. Let me tell you what I've done to my mom. I have reported her to God so that judgment day. I remember as a child, I'll be keeping the things I'm going to say on judgment day against my mother. For beating that I did not understand what I was getting. So listening to Mariah, I'm like, I would have loved her father conversation.
I would never forget this day. Myself and my cousins at the Shokons, I said, no, I think it was my sister and my brother. It was somebody's wedding. I think it was the Shoyebo's wedding. I can't remember. It was Shino Peters was playing. Or was it at DB? I can't remember what wedding. I was a child. Myself and my sister went on the stage to dance with Shino Peters. My father was like a lawyer, legal luminary. For me, that was the most embarrassing thing in his life for his children. And people were happy for spraying us. He was just with a cigar. On the back of this, we saw our dad looking at us, but we didn't care.
Well, you thought you were
spraying up and dance, we didn't care. We sat down. When we got home, he called us out.
Arranged
my children dancing in front of Shino Peters. Did you know how humiliated I was? He will now break down who he is. And after explaining to us. So now I'm going to use air conditioner wire. So that thick one. That thick, he rolled it. He gave us 8 strokes each. 8. The 3 of us, me, Tuni, and
for dancing.
But you see the difference. She remembers the crime. And she remembers the punishment.
Yes.
Most of us remember only punishment.
that's
I don't remember what we did. We just remember that day.
And you know, so I remember it's very deep.
And you
if I
think.
did your dad, I wouldn't have beaten you. I would have maybe said, go and face the corner or something.
No.
Because that's premeditated beating.
I like premeditated.
Like premeditated murder. He sat down, watched them, planned the beating.
Deliberate.
It was a deliberate.
Intentional. Let's go back to the rules.
Yes.
This man,
So there was
do other rules.
there was one we didn't talk about when he was saying that he agreed never to argue in front of his children. I like that, but it's not for everything and not for every time. Because sometimes these children grew up not seeing the real world, not understanding how to deal with their emotions because they never saw mommy get angry and forget about it, or daddy shout and, move on from that situation. So when they now are thrown into a relationship and the man is screaming down at them and it's new to them.
That's a new perspective.
They're not
That's
able
a new perspective. I'm hearing this for the first time.
Yes.
So what we have been told is that don't argue in front of your kids. No. But you're not coming with a new perspective.
Yes. They need to see that we are human beings and we get upset. They need to, most importantly, they need to see how you resolve the situation. So is your argument leading to death or divorce, or are you able to come out of it? Because they have issues in school too. They come back every day and say, this person did this to me, that person did that to me. They are also learning. You're modeling to them how to handle difficult situations. A lot of us did not have that sort of modeling. Either it went to the extreme or it was not there at all. And then we're thrown into the world, scrambling to survive. We can't regulate our emotions. Somebody says something very small, is a joke. You're already upset for 3 days. You're already calling out, because you did not learn how to process that emotion. So they get to a certain age where it's okay for them to see that mommy and daddy are not talking right now. Daddy annoyed me, and we have to sort out the situation. It also helps them grow and mature. And you'll be surprised at the kind of human beings you raise.
Let me take this call. Okay, sorry. For a second. Good morning. Thanks for calling. You're live. Latif, go ahead. Welcome. From ATL. Welcome to the show.
Atlanta, Georgia.
From USA.
Yes, I can see that.
US of A.
I'm sure I'll sleep at this time.
My contribution is just that wherever there's an application outside, whether in public or anywhere, the best thing I think to do is to make peace. There's always a good time when you are making peace. When you are not making peace, you don't know the capacity of the people you are trying to fight. So this can eventually turn to something you don't expect. But either your spouse is making problem outside or whatever, your friend, the best option is to make peace.
Okay.
There's nothing peace cannot settle.
Thank you very much, Latif. You're going to say something, Mariam?
Yes. So what BC said, maybe for me, I would take that and the situation I'll put in, maybe if they're a bit older. I don't know if you've grown up in a family where you watch your parents argue. It's very traumatizing for children. You're adults, you understand that it's going to end in talking it out or solving it. But a child is traumatized. Two people I love, back and forth. So for me, definitely, if you have much younger children, it's not the time. Right. Of course, when the children grow older, they understand. After all, between themselves and their siblings, they argue. And then you can explain to them, do you realize your dad and I too argue? And so they're at an age where they understand. I was talking to someone, not going to mention, was talking about how he's finding stability, why for him in his current adult relationship he's looking for stability, because as a child all he remembers was constant fighting. And so that's something he's running away from. So for me, I think it's such a big deal arguing and fighting in front of children. Now you're talking, I believe BC is talking about healthy arguments or in a healthy relationship. So in that sort of situation, of course, the children sometimes can even join in the who is right and who is wrong camp. That one, you're showing them, educating them on how to communicate. But there are times that husbands and wives fight. You know that you don't even want your neighbor to hear because you will do or say some things that hurt.
I have an example of exactly recently. I can't remember a few weeks ago. I saw my husband had a really serious argument, and it was in front of the kids. I mean, we didn't plan for it to be for the kids. Just so happened that, and anytime we have an argument, it's always about the kids. Nothing else. We hardly fight about anything else except for raising the kids, the school, the lesson, what they do. That's the only time we fight. And this one was about one of the kids. we burst out into serious. And obviously, after the whole hula baloo, by the next day, he apologized to me. And then by the next day evening, I needed to sulk. I usually need minimum of 2 days. So I wasn't talking to him. Yeah. My daughter, my first daughter too, wasn't talking because she was also saw the whole drama. Yeah. And she was also sulking. She came to me and told me how she felt about the whole thing, how it made her feel. I felt bad for her. I told her, I don't even know how to help you, but I made her understand that your dad and I had fought, but I will sort it out. And then I made her feel like that she'll be fine. But then I was focusing on myself. So after about 2 or 3 days, when I finished, by the second or third day, I was ready to put a conversation, and I had a conversation with him, and we ironed it out. But do you know that for the next few days, my daughter still wasn't speaking to me in that same house? Yes. She stopped talking to me. And I was wondering, what is wrong with this auntie? I why is God not talking to me? And then I had to call her. What's your problem? Why are you sulking all over the house? She said that you refuse to understand that the effect your argument had on me. Yeah. And I'm not healed from this thing. Yeah. I've
been traumatized.
Yes. You're already laughing and moved on.
Exactly.
But you have no idea how you
Your children will be looking at you and like, look at this traitor woman.
Yeah.
This woman that we were on this together. I agreed with her.
Abandoned me here.
You hear that a lot.
You're right. So there's that trauma.
So it's the balance.
The balance.
It's the balance. So the argument that causes trauma most of the time is not the regular argument. Like we have over what are we eating, or the movie we're watching, we disagree about ideas. No, they're supposed to have done like that. No, that's I see from my point of view, that's not the kind of argument that causes trauma. So you as a parent should know the kind of arguments or the kind of quarrels that you take away from your children, and only for a time. Because let me tell you the truth, whether I hide it or not, their energy catches it. They get it, they feel, and that's why you finish from a very intense argument, one of your children will come and hug you. They feel it. So you think you're hiding, you're not hiding anything. They can get it. They feel it from their, absorb it from their conscious mind, from their subconscious mind. You are deceiving yourself. So understand, and it gets to a particular age where they can now see it for what it really is. And it helps them to, form their lives and understand that these things happen. So they don't go out into the world with the expectation that
everything's perfect.
This person must be perfect. This person must not have. I never saw my mother raise her voice on my father. I never saw my father raise the voice on the mother. If once you shout, small shout at me, I cannot deal. I did not see this happening. It was happening, coded under the sheet. You did not know. But when they know, they can now.
Maybe they didn't even talk.
It's possible. Some people stay in homes where they are not talking for weeks. Yes, the kids also find a way to get that. So just balance it out.
Okay, let's take a few comments on social media as we wrap up. Because this is we're supposed to do about 2 or 3 topics today, but I think this one kind of stretched a bit. Yeah. Let's take a few comments on social media so that we can wrap up very soon.
So Corey Michael says conflict is necessary part of life's process. The place says not all the time. Why would you be arguing all the time? Business point is important. Let it be balanced. I think September Production says, I didn't see my parents argue while growing up till I was like almost an adult, and my mom warned us not to get involved, and the way they settled was so funny. Amina says, my parents used to argue in front of us, and it taught me a lot about picking my fights, settling arguments and moving on from it. I was not traumatized at any point in my life, but people are different.
Raiki, any?
I'm just...
Okay. Corey says again, no matter how you shelter your kids, they will still fight their fights.
So, I mean, going back to, because we're supposed to connect this to the story of the other man who was saying that was telling a young lady on the first...
No, I have to read this comment.
Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Ajetu Mobi says, good morning, ladies. Auntie Annie, what you said about your husband, honestly, I love it. The driver might have been doing things spiritually to your husband. Your action stopped it materializing physically. And that is and that is on period.
Suitor controls the definitely has been traumatized.
I am Nigerian if I don't make it a spiritual story.
Very short. This thing actually happened. So there's this family friend of ours who, in a dream, saw the auntie pressing him. He was far away in the north when he saw the auntie. So a few months back, they moved. He was working with soldiers. They brought him back and he came to see his family. As he saw that, his auntie.
He slapped me bitter.
So before he came back,
oh my Lord.
What happened to his auntie?
wait, the auntie was pressing him, attacking him spiritually. So
in the dream.
In the dream, while he was in the north. Before he came, 2 days before he came back, the auntie woke up shouting,
Like this
"Hey, Hamamulao, Ntimo." So her face was swollen.
Oh.
She got a slap from the dream. That guy has slapped her. And I saw it growing up.
We are hearing you. We're laughing, right?
It's not this. I said growing up. The face was swollen. He was shouting. 2 days later, the man came back. He went to apologize to him. Yes, now. She went with the face to apologize to him. He slapped her from wherever he was before he came back. So sometimes we trivialize these spiritual things. I'm agreeing with our caller, but it actually happens, and we must be careful. You beat me in the dream, and if I see you real life, I give you back.
There's somebody that...
Andrew Chatham says, for me, Miriam is cool, no wahala lady. For YK, na true daughter of fella. If you fight YK, the fella tune that comes to mind is wahala go fight. Oluwaseun Olatunde says, at this week, God bless you. I saw that video too. The children will be looking for a perfect spouse. God bless you, BC.
Okay.
I like Mariah's upbringing. That means he likes that means he must like that.
Premeditated. I love it.
That's my beating that I got with the cookies. It's also in my book. My father will tell you, ask you, so you ate my cookies. Did they belong to you? You know where you got, how he got it from here?
He was way ahead of his time.
Yeah, he will break it down for you. So when you're now collecting his spanking, you're not saying you stood down. And then you go and get his belt.
Right.
And he'll tell you how many strokes he's going to give you. So if you know that I'm getting 12, I mean, my father was unbelievable.
But way ahead of his time.
So we're all different. But I think in a nutshell, really, many of these rules that, we want to say something.
Odunayo says, that's why you are short. J, at Moakabash. Did you just say that? This one pain me, oh. Cry.
No respect for your elders. How dare you tell YK because she's short?
Yes. I know, YK now.
I'm reading. She will kneel down. Sorry, she will kneel down after the show. She will kneel down.
Say that one pain me and cry inside the tweets.
Anyway, we have to wrap up. I think what the conversation we're talking about was about that man that was saying he had 4 rules for his wife. I think what the ladies had agreed is that the fact that he used rules might come across a bit heavy-handed, but the point really is like those rules are all they're things that women already somewhat imbibe, and some of us, someone like me, that I'm also learned from the conversation that, you know, when you're outside, regardless of what your spouse does, just defend him.
Support him.
We'll try. I will do better.
It is
better to support him, to help them fight, and you know, say, yeah, I support you.
You just
use wisdom.
Call him. They use wisdom. You have not changed the chat.
That's what we said. Not saying you can't fight them. Just use wisdom.
My husband is a fantastic human being. I mean, he's not perfect, but there are times where he just goes overboard. And you're like, bro, take it easy.
You're touching his thighs when he's.
And I'm like, take it easy, man.
You don't know the people that say, you don't know the people that say, why are you touching me? Don't touch me.
I will touch you.
Don't touch me.
Don't touch me.
And I will touch you the wrong place. You will calm down, you smile, relax.
Oh, you say, why are you pitching me under the table? I'm talking, I'm saying my mind. Don't pitch me under the table. Don't pitch.
Anyways, that's what we can take on today's show. Hope you learned a few things as we have. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.